Hello everyone! The 24th episode came out just yesterday, and let me tell you that I am really amazed by how quickly Monster Up started releasing new episodes of his Zombie Universe series recently. And sometimes I even have to decide which analysis to do first now. And I love this episode a lot because my theories about what can happen in it actually all came out to be true, but let's not rush it. So in this video I analyzed the whole new episode for you guys, and found all the interesting details and Easter eggs that you could have missed on your own. So today, I am going to break the whole episode down for you, and if you're really ready to figure out what the heck happened in it and what's going to happen in the series soon, then put all your business aside for the next 10 minutes and trust me. What happened to this mysterious device that used to belong to the TV man who played the role of a traitor? Who actually teleported the POV and in which location? And most importantly, what was the true motif of this Chad TV man, and what plot twist are we about to see in Monster Up's universe next? Get your tea and snacks ready and prepare to watch this video to the end, because I saved the juiciest part for later just as always. Let's go! But before I'll start digging into episode 24, let me remind you real quick about the events of the previous episode so you won't get too confused about what has actually been going on. So the previous episode begins with a previously shown secret scene from Season 7, which in fact turned out to be a dream or illusion experienced by the POV plungerman, while lying unconscious as he was likely knocked out during a battle. And in his dream, he sees the purple core that lures him with its seductive female voice, similar to a siren. But in most crucial moment, the POV wakes up and finds himself in a zombie-infested building that looked really similar to the ones shown in the earlier episodes. And we see that he now got an upgraded gun that immobilizes zombies, which means that the current events are several weeks past the events of episode 22, and the Alliance is on some mission now. Then we see an epic escape scene and the appearance of our buddy Skibidi again, who is also now equipped with new weapons. We see that Titans and Gman are in this area as well, and it looks like their goal is to free the squad of Base 23, which they successfully fulfill. And then we see the preparations for another more important mission, which is the capture and destruction of zombie Skibidi scientist. When everything is ready, the POV activates a device he received from TV Man, and it leads to a confrontation with zombie scientist, who gets immobilized and made vulnerable in a trap setup. The episode ended on a cliffhanger suggesting that zombie scientist has no chances against his opponent, and he's about to get destructed soon. And I also suspected the return of zombie speakerman, who is now dangerously upgraded by the Plague Doctor. Okay, so now when your memory is refreshed and you're all set and ready, episode 24 is already on your screens. So the episode starts with G-Man, who's ready to activate his X-18 core power and cleanse zombie scientist from the face of the earth forever. And it looks like Skibidi scientist fully realizes that he's about to get wrecked just now, so his facial expression gets really desperate. But he's not done yet though. So in the last attempt to survive, he activates his giant speaker on his chest, which we already saw in the end of the previous episode, and now we can see the full effect of it. So in my previous analysis, I said that even with all these attempts to kick back, Scientist is doomed to fail against all these powerful opponents. But you know what? I think I still underestimated this guy a little bit. Because the sound wave that he released turned out to be so powerful that not only did it knock off the POV on the ground, and made him lie there unconscious for a couple of seconds, but it even was capable of blowing the dirt out of the ears of both Titan Cameraman and G-Man. And as all of them are lying comfortably and just about to wake up, Skibidi scientist doesn't waste all these seconds in vain. So he ripped off all the harpoons that kept him immobilized and also got his yellow cannons uncovered by hitting one of them at this building, so the trap locker came off like a wine bottle's cork. And then he shot off another one. Okay, so now when both of his cannons are free to use now, he activates it right away and sends two powerful laser shots in Titan Cameraman, who already managed to get up. And don't forget that our blue lens Chad is still not fully upgraded yet, as it was his old version that was initially trapped in the cave. So he tries to cover himself from the lasers, but he's not robust enough to endure this. Also, zombie scientist manages to slice off a piece of armor from his leg, which causes Titan Cameraman to fall once again. But before the enraged freak does anything else, there is G-Man who appears right behind his back and squeezes him tightly not to let him move. And also check out how he disconnected his laser cannons first and pulled one of them far off. That's pretty smart. But unfortunately, G-Man had only 2 hands, and as he was busy grabbing Scientist's neck, he missed out the second cannon, which the freak immediately uses to push G-Man away from him. And we can also see how the lower protective armor is no more on G-Man's face. Meanwhile, Titan Cameraman shoots him from his cannon, which doesn't do that much of a damage, and then Skibidi Scientist gets played like a yo-yo or something before getting in hands of Titan TVman, who appears on the battlefield like a literal Chad. He grabs the freak like a rag doll and then pierces his head through the mouth with his long, big purple sword. Hey guys, what's up with Skibidi creators recently? Why all this obsession with oral penetration and stuff? Is it spring that influences you all? Please stop. And then G-Man adds more spice to it by frying the scientist's body with his core flame, turning him into a crusty BBQ. Now a zombie Skibidi Scientist is no more. The Titans are celebrating their victory and give each other a high five. Which is interesting because I expecting to see them exchanging with thumbs up. But okay, and I hope that you will do it instead, and give a like to this video, as well as subscribe to my channel. Okay, and now let's move on. It's obvious, though, that G-Man is not happy of having to destroy his former comrade, so he refuses to take part in this celebration and turns away. And in this moment, the POV gets a new message on the device in his hands, and it shows an inscription zombie speaker. And then something really unexpected happens as the screen turns red and a portal opens behind the POV's back. And it's the same portal we already saw multiple times in this series, which may be linked to the Plague Doctor. And now I have a theory. Do you remember how TV Man got teleported out of the cave with Titans to then show up in the Plague Doctor's laboratory? I suspected that he was teleported by the Plague Doctor himself against his own will. And it's really possible that something similar happened to the POV Plungerman as well in this scene. Because it seems like the Plague Doctor managed to figure out that the Alliance started pulling out his special creatures with the use of this device one by one right into traps. And now he wants to do the same thing with the POV. But I am still not certainly sure about it. So if you have your own theory on where this portal actually come from and who is its creator, then be sure to write it in the comments below, and I'll pin the best comment under this video. Okay, so then the POV gets forcefully teleported to another location, and oh dude, it looks really similar to me. This is definitely the location from episode 8. And I believe that this is no coincidence at all, because this was the location where TV Man initially betrayed the Alliance, and the consequences of it were really major and tragic. It was TV Man exactly who plugged the flash drive with zombie virus into the system, which led to Titan Speakerman and a bunch of other characters to get infected, which was absolutely horrendous at the time. And I noticed another parallel between this episode and episode 8, but I'll tell you about it a little bit later after I analyze the last video message from TV Man that he recorded for the Alliance. And by the way, on the left side from the screen, we can see 2 references on YouTubers reacting to Zombie Universe series. The whole room is also messed up and covered in certain bodily liquids, if you know what I'm talking about. Everything is wrecked up, and soon we will understand why. The POV moves closer to the screen with the sign message on it and turns on the last video recorded. And thankfully it starts running in reverso right away, so I don't have to decipher what TV Man says in here myself. So the TV Man explains basically everything in this video message. He says that this message is meant to be seen after he'll get infected or eliminated by the Plague Doctor. He didn't say his name out loud, but we still know exactly who he's talking about. He apologizes for what he would have to do next and says that he needs to do all this in order to earn the trust of the Plague Doctor. And by this words we understand that this message was recorded precisely in episode 8 or very close to it. And he said these words as he was about to infect Titan Speakerman and leaked all the secrets of the Alliance, which breaks my heart. So he realizes exactly how horrible what he's about to do is and what ending he will receive for himself. But he still does what has to be done, and by this he earns my endless respect. He's truly like Severus Snape of the Skibidi multiverse, and I am really amazed by the deepness and complexity of his character. And then he says something incredibly important, and I believe that this is the turning point for the whole series. TV Man says in the video message that he was able to find another core, which may serve as a cure against the whole zombie virus, and that he hid the coordinates of its location somewhere safe. And I thought immediately of the purple core that Plungerman dreamt about at the beginning of the previous episode. Now pieces of the puzzle start fitting in, and I can almost see the bigger picture. TV Man tells the viewer to go and grab this core in order to win against this zombie plague. And as the video message is about to end, we can see a figure of no other than Plungerman himself. And you know what he's doing in this scene? He's carrying the flash drive right into the TV man's hands to start all this chain of events. And man, this is really sad. And well, it seems to me that I'm not the only one who's sad, because the POV plungerman seems to be just infuriated. He gets out of this room to the hall, cuts off a zombie on the right with the closed door, and then rushes into the battle. And do you remember how I promised to tell you about the parallel between this episode and the 8th one? Well, check this out. If in episode 8, plungerman simply rushed through the hordes of zombies, then in this episode he's doing something different. He's creating a huge mess and fighting every zombie freak that stands on his way. And man, watching this scene made me pretty emotional. Maybe he's just more confident about his win because he's still wearing the exosuit from Speakerman's base. But honestly, I think that he's just blinded by rage and desperation due to all the information that his brain just received. But the emotional roller coaster in fact only begins, because guess who the POV sees is at the exit of this complex? Yes, this is the already infected TV man, which looks just horrible. It's so upsetting to imagine to just watch video message featuring this character in sane mind and good health, and then to see him minutes later in his new terrifying form. Although I must admit that this guy looks like extra cool. He's got vampire-like bat wings and a terrifying maw that ripped his TV head in two. And I'm pretty sure that the plague doctor infected TV man with some new terrifying strain of zombie virus that includes bat genes or something like this. Just like Drill Man had Black Mamba genes in him. I can really smell an awfully epic fight in the beginning of the next episode. But I'll also bet that beating this guy won't be an easy task for the POV. And that was all for today. Write in the comments below about how excited you are to see the next episode in order to find out what will happen to the POV next time. And be sure to subscribe to my channel so you will not miss my new videos, and also to my Discord where you can contact me directly and get lots of info for my subscribers only. And that was me, ISO Toilet. See ya!